Hello once again, dear listeners. It is time for In the Library with
Tara.
And as ever, I'm Adrian. How are you this week?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Very well. So, being as this is the end of May, start of June, and it was my turn to pick a book topic, I went with the most appropriate of all topics,
Yes.
ghosts.
I mean, what everyone thinks of in May.
Obviously.
Yeah.
It's not just me.
So since it was your pick, clearly a pick that you put a lot of thought and effort into choosing, what book did you go with?
So I went with two.
Trying
I know. Can you believe it?
to make me look bad.
Yeah, it kind of was. Did it work?
No.
What?
I
No, it
read
didn't.
two.
See how you are? Okay. So the first one I read, I have talked on this podcast a couple of times about a book from my youth. About
My youth? My youth. Like turning it into one word.
Yeah.
Dang it.
So I did manage to track down a copy of The Ghost Mobile by Kathy Kennedy Tapp.
You did talk about this.
Yes, I did, about the two ghosts on the bus and the kids who found them.
So you found the book?
I found the book.
And did it stand up to the test of time?
Absolutely not.
Not even a little bit? Like no nostalgia?
Younger me had awful taste in literature.
Aw.
Hey.
So you should have not, would you rather have not read it and just left it in your memory?
Uh,
Or do you feel like now you can let it go?
I think I'm gonna have to just let it go because it doesn't hold up.
No, but I'm saying, would you rather have not?
Oh
Read it?
no! I fully believe I should have read it because I shouldn't let it be this magical mystery book I was pining for.
Telling all the listeners how great it is and to go read it.
Yeah. So, the Ghost Mobile, written by Kathy Kennedy Tapp, like I said, it is about Ryan and his family move to the state of Wisconsin. You know, the scariest of all states.
Of course.
Of course. He's convinced that his life will be doomed. He has no friends. There will be no baseball.
But
There
there's
will
cheese.
There is cheese, but there'll be no biking to the beach.
Ooh.
And then they get there and they find out that not only are they moving to Wisconsin, but they're living in a tent because
What?
their parents bought a house that's not done being renovated yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're living in a tent.
Because that was the only other option.
Clearly.
Okay.
And then while they're camping in their tent, they discover a eerie green light that goes down the road Mondays at night.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
And on that green glowing bus, there are two ghosts, Aunt Vera and Cece.
When you say Aunt Vera, is the ghost related to the kids?
She just calls herself Aunt Vera.
Okay. Can the kids go on the bus?
Well, they do. That does happen, yeah.
Because that would be fun. I would go on a ghost bus.
Can you guess what CC stands for? You're never going to get it.
Cecilia Cornucopia.
No.
Cecil Cloud.
The CC stands for cotton candy. That is, yep, that's what she goes
That's
by.
not a name.
That's what she goes by. But Ryan and his siblings work together to see if they can free the ghosts from their Monday bus loop.
Maybe they like being on the bus and going for a loop.
No,
Maybe that's their thing. It's their jam. Why are they trying to free them? They don't know what's going on in their lives.
it's
They get to see the world.
I think I know what intrigued me about this book when I was younger. There's a lot of really bad astrology nonsense in this book, and I think I was intrigued by wow, they know so much. But I'm reading it now like, they're just making stuff up as they go.
Is it that, or has it changed over the years? That
No,
stuff does change over time, right?
I get the feeling that they were just sort of going with whatever they wanted.
It wasn't Google back then. They didn't think people were going to fact check them, right? Huh?
What?
So there was no Google back then. They didn't think people
No.
were going to fact check them.
There was no Google, no one to fact check.
Easier times.
It was a different time.
All right. So was the other book that you read better? Were you happier with that one?
No,
Oh, well,
I was so disappointed.
rough week for you.
It was. So let me tell you about the second book that I read. Okay.
Okay.
This was called Ghost Station. And it was written by S.A. Barnes.
I feel like I've seen this before.
Well, it's a recent book. Came out April of last year.
Then I have not.
But Ghost Station, it's the sophomore novel by S.A. Barnes, who previously wrote a book called Dead Silence.
What do you mean by sophomore?
His second book.
Is that like an actual term?
Yeah.
Oh.
Your freshman novel is the first novel you write, and your sophomore novel is the second.
That makes
novel.
sense. I've never heard that associated with books. Only
I don't think it carries forward to like junior and senior, but freshman and sophomore.
It should, and then you get super senior too.
Super seniors, yeah. What would James Patterson be?
I don't even think they have a term for how many books he's coming out with.
How many books has he written, do you think?
Well, so here's the question. Are you talking about books that he wrote himself or books that other people wrote that he put his name on the cover? Because those are two different answers.
I'm completely 100% certain that is true, but I am just trying to...
So I'm not going to lie. I get annoyed with the authors that somebody else writes the book and they just slap their name on it to make the sales. Because you know what? That's not your book.
Well, he has been writing since 1976, and he's credited with over 200 novels. So how many of those he actually wrote directly?
Yeah, we'd have to do math on that. It's like V.C. Andrews. She actually has been dead. She didn't write most of her books. Most of those books were written by ghostwriters.
That's true.
I don't know how many, but she didn't. She only wrote a handful of books, and then people liked the series and just kept going on with it. It's like, that's not... Write your own book. Not everyone agrees with me, and that's fine, but... Yes.
No. So, Ghost Station is about a psychologist who gets added to a research mission into space. They are going...
Ghosts in space. That's cool.
Okay, so spoilers to anybody interested in this book. There's no ghosts. I was very disappointed.
What?
The title's Ghost Station.
Oh, like a ghost town.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was really hoping it had ghosts, and that was... Because it bills itself as a horror novel.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a horror novel. It's a psychological thriller at best. Because Ophelia and her team land on an abandoned space station for research purposes, and then they discover that the previous team may not have left on friendly terms.
Bum, bum, bum.
There's
a couple Doctor Who episodes like that.
Yeah, it goes into, there's a disease called ERS, which is a psychological thing similar to PTSD that you get from being in space, and it drives people crazy, and it does a lot with that. And there's a thing about they have a Wi-Fi chip they can put in their heads to communicate and send thoughts and stuff like that. And
I read a lot of those types of books when I was growing up. Might be why I'm so paranoid as an adult.
So on that note, would you mind if I was to just, like do a little minor surgery, put some chips in your head?
I think I'm going to have to pass this time. Definitely keep me in mind in the future. You can reach out again, but I think I'm good right now.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. So those were my disappointing reads for the week. One had 2.5 Does the bus count as a ghost?
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 ghosts, and then the other one had no ghosts.
Oh, does the bus count as a ghost?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Well, no, it's not a ghost, but...
Because the premise is that there was an accident and Vera and Cece were killed in a bus crash, but somehow the bus manifests as well, so does the bus count as a ghost?
I don't think it's its own separate identity. I think it's just a tool of theirs.
Okay. Thought puzzle for you.
Okay.
So you've seen the Magic School Bus.
Yes, I love the Magic School Bus.
I know. I've seen your cosplay.
Do you think that that's a ghost bus?
Well, no, listen. That bus is very clearly alive.
It is.
Can that bus have a ghost?
That bus could have a ghost, yes. Because that bus is alive. It has a face and... Does it talk?
I don't think it talks, but I like that you put has a face.
It does have a face. I vividly remember an episode where it had a face and it had a tongue that poked out. I don't remember. But yes, I would agree that if that one passed away, that it could possibly have a ghost. But now I really want a haunted Magic School Bus series.
Be the change you wish to see in the world.
How much trouble do you think I would get in for copywriting that.
I would write one and submit it to Scholastic. I think Scholastic
They
owns.
want a horror version of.
If you don't make it like scary, super scary, gory, I'm sure they would consider it. They're always looking to cash in on existing IPs.
This might have to happen. I just feel like that'd be a hit.
So, turning back around to you, what have you read?
Well, sorry, mine were not disappointing.
See how you are?
No. So I took out a whole bunch of books from the library because I wasn't sure what I wanted to read. And thankfully, I started off with Shadow House by Dan Poblocki. I think that's how you say his last name.
Sure, we'll go with that.
And this was really good, so I ended up sticking with this. So there are quite a few ghosts in this because it's about these 5 kids from all over the country, and they all get these mysterious messages inviting them to this house in New York. One girl is an orphan, and she's reached out by her only living relative that wants her to move in. One kid is a music prodigy and gets invited to a music school. One girl's sister just died, and she just wants to get away on the other side of the country. And then 2 twin brothers are actors, and they get invited to make a movie. And they all get there into this creepy house, and they realize, hey, we can't all be here for these different things and have this all be true. And also there's no one there. And then they get locked in the house, and they can't get out. And there's these kids with like these creepy papier-mâché animal masks that are chasing them and trying to hurt them. And basically those kids are ghosts. And they have to try and figure out how to release their spirits, and get out of the house.
Release the ghosts.
So, highly recommend. I will say it's darker for a juvenile book than I would have assumed. This is definitely for, like, I would even say teens would enjoy reading this. So, any child that really likes spooky stuff, or kind of like an intro into the young adult genre, because it talks about death and all the creepy stuff. And
it's a whole series?
Yes, so that was a little bit of a downside for me. It's almost like Dan wanted to write a young adult novel and then decided to gear it towards the juvenile, and so he cut his book into 3. So the 3-book series is one story, so the first 2 books do leave off on cliffhangers. It doesn't come to any nice conclusion. So that's my only downside with this, is if we didn't have all the books at the library, I would have been really disappointed if I couldn't have finished it. So that's why I say I did read 2 books, because I did read the first 2 in the series, and I'm about to start the 3rd because I gotta know how it ends. And technically there's a 4th book in the series, but it's not about these kids, it's about other kids, because basically this house has been, every like 12 years or so, it brings these random 5 kids to the house so it can kill them and live on their ghost spirits for like 12 years. So,
I mean, that sounds fun.
Yeah, so the 4th book is about 5 other kids who are brought to the house.
I like the cover of this one. I'm going to try and put this cover up.
The covers are cool because all of them have like this little window.
Opaque inset.
Yeah, all 4 of them do. And I also like in the first one, on the cover it says, knock knock, who's dead?
It's me.
I'm the problem, it's me.
Yeah.
So I love this book, this series. I think it's a really good series for kids who like scary things, spooky things. And just know it is a little bit older. I would recommend like 11 and up. And definitely have access to the whole series when they start it, just in case they like it, so they can just keep going. So.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry. I liked the books I read.
That's fine. It's always good to like a book.
But now you have different ghost books.
I might pick these up and read them myself.
So, and you said pick a ghost book. And so far there's 10, 11, 12. There's at least 13 ghosts in these books so far. But not like the movie.
They need like one more ghost then. Because isn't 13 the spooky number?
I said 13.
Oh, okay.
But not like the movie.
Not like
You know what this book series reminded me of? Have you ever seen The House on Haunted Hill?
Yes.
Like the first book especially really like made me feel like this was the junior version of that.
Now, are we talking the original House on Haunted Hill or the remake House on Haunted Hill?
I'm more familiar with the remake. I have seen both, so I would say it's more like the remake because in the original they pretended to kill someone in both of those.
Yeah.
So no Vincent Price. He does not pop up in this, unfortunately.
Well,
although there is a creepy old guy named Caldwell that would be Vincent Price if he was going to do this.
You know, I guarantee you somewhere there's a company, one of those AI ones making the fake actors and everything, who's got a Vincent Price ready to go and is just waiting for somebody to sign off on it.
If any actor was going to come back as a ghost and continue acting, it would be Vincent Price. It would work out perfectly. So I say we just do a seance and we get this going.
Vincent Price, if you're listening, send us an email. We'll hook this up.
If you can type, I'm a little bit afraid.
Poor Vincent Price.
How long ago did he pass away?
It was...
He was a good actor.
I'm going to look it up so I look like I know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about, but he passed away in 1993.
1993?
Mm-hmm.
I killed him.
I mean, you might have done.
Or maybe he died and maybe I'm Vincent Price.
Did he do anything after
Reincarnation.
Edward Scissorhands, or was that his last role?
Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, he's the doctor. He creates Edward.
I haven't watched that movie in a long time. I am not a big fan.
You're dead to me.
That's fair. Yeah.
Okay, his last movie...
There's a lot of movies that people like that I'm not a fan of. Beetlejuice, can't stand it.
Okay, I'm in his TV listings. Okay, so his last live-action role was Edward Scissorhands, but Thief and the Cobbler was released posthumously.
He was in a couple Scooby-Doos, and I like those ones. Mm-hmm. Was that actually him? I assume so, but I guess I don't know that for sure. They had a Vincent Price character.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Awesome.
Vincent Van Gogh.
Van Gogh.
The 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo.
It was good.
I remember that series.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first time, as I recall, the first time Scooby-Doo tried to do a serialized story.
Could have been. Have you seen their more recent series that all tied together? It was Mystery Incorporated. It's on Netflix.
I'm old enough that I watched that when it was on Cartoon Network.
Not Mystery Incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that was on.
Mm-hmm. I'm old enough that I watched it and waited a week between episodes.
It has Matthew Lillard in it as the voice, and it's all about Crystal Cove, and like there's a lot of...
there's hot dog water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that was like brought to Netflix.
Nope. I am so old.
I actually surprisingly liked that one, and that was the first one I saw of theirs that like tied together, and you had to watch them all.
Yeah. Well, they don't do that very often, but yeah, I do.
And Matthew Lillard can do no wrong. He's the best Shaggy.
He can probably do something wrong.
No.
But Matthew Lillard, if you're listening, please send us an email.
Please do. It'll be the highlight of my life. I love him.
Is he on Cameo? I'll send him a Cameo request.
I don't know if he is, but I've heard he's a really nice actor. Like I see like clips of him at like those festivals, and like he's just so sweet, and he hugs people, and he'll like take pictures with them, and like Matthew Lillard, if you're listening, I love you.
Alrighty. On that note, let's turn our subject. Okay. Let's turn our attention. If everyone will open their books to page 37.
Yeah.
Abren sus libros a la página. No?
No. All right. Coming up at the Ellis Branch Library is Summer Book Club. This will be on Tuesdays at 9:30 a.m. starting June 17th. This is for ages 7 to 12. Please register ahead of time. Help the summer slide. Join us for a summer book club for children aged 7 to 12. We will read a title, discuss it, and then complete fun activities. So, do that.
So, do you think they're reading books about summer or books during the summer?
Our summer title will be Misty of... Oh, gosh.
Chickadee?
Sure, let's go with that. By Marguerite Henry.
And then maybe they'll read the sequel, Stormy Misty's Foal.
Did you read these? I've never heard of these before.
Yeah, I read those when I was a kid.
How do you say that word?
Chickadee.
Chikatique.
At least that's how I pronounced it.
Yes, also the reading over the summer.
It's just like my childhood all over again. So, if you happen to be near the Ellis Library and Reference Center, check out Outdoor Music, Movement and Mindfulness, coming Mondays at 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. This will run from May 12th, so it has already begun, through July 21st of 2025. This program is targeted for ages 3 to 6. We'll enjoy summer and sunshine as we enjoy dancing, outdoor activities, and a little yoga on the library's lawn. Please bring a towel or blanket for the ground. In case of bad weather, we will move indoors. Register online. See, you're such a trendsetter. Now they're doing yoga everywhere.
I know, right?
See how you are?
I mean, technically they were doing chair yoga at Ida before me, but still, I'll take it. I'll pretend I started it. Do you have a student at kindergarten through 6th grade? Well, then you should come to the Bedford Branch Library for cooking and baking. This will take place in June and July. This kids' cooking club combines the joys of reading with the fun of cooking. Kids will explore cookbooks, discuss recipes, and even cook along with the recipes featured in their selected book. So please register online and come out to the Bedford Branch Library to cook and read.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
I really like baking, and my favorite cookie is oatmeal chocolate chip. So I really like oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. No, not a fan?
My favorite thing to bake is bread.
I've never done bread. I want to, though. My sister does it all the time.
If you happen to be near the Summerfield, Petersburg, and Maybe Branch libraries, check out Mindful Art for ages 10 to adults. Unwind, create, and find inner peace with a calming and creative program designed to nurture your mind and spirit. Mindful Art combines the principles of mindfulness with the expressive power of art, offering participants a tranquil space to explore creativity while cultivating present moment awareness. No experience is needed, space is limited, so please register online. Registration will open on June 1st. And all events take place from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m.
Coming up at the Bedford Branch Library is Summer Homeschool Hangout. This is open to all ages, and they are calling for Bedford homeschool families. Join your library at Whiteford.
Can you say that again? I didn't get that.
Join your library at White Park in Lambertville this summer to meet new friends, hang out, play games, visit the bookmobile, and more. Bring your lunch and get ready to have a fun-tastic summer. This will be on Wednesdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. No registration required.
What's your favorite thing to do in the summer?
Sit inside and hide in a dark room.
We're twinsies. The Bedford Branch Library is pleased to present Summer Family Movies. These will take place Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Join us June 11th for SpongeBob, Sponge Out of Water.
I saw that in theater with my nieces. 5 out of 10.
Coming June 18th, we have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And then finishing out June 25th, there'll be Shrek 2.
Dude, they're on number 6 or 7 now. There's too many. The first couple are good. There's too many now.
How can you say that? The world could always use some more Shrek.
I don't believe that's true.
Hey now.
Hey now.
You're an all-star. So get your game on.
Go play.
Okay, so serious question. When you think of All-Star, the song, is Shrek the first movie that pops in your head?
First movie or first thing?
Well, what's the first thing that pops in your head?
Well, I had it as a dance competition song when I was in elementary school, so I always think of that tap dance. But yes, movie-wise, I do think of Shrek.
Have you ever seen the movie Mystery Men?
No.
Yep, that tracks.
Sorry.
It was the main theme for Mystery Men. I think the music video was actually, for the song, actually features clips from Mystery Men. Which came out first?
Well, did it have a musical, probably musical based off of it? Because Shrek did.
Yeah. Okay, so Shrek came out in May 18 of 2001. And Mystery Men came out in July 22nd of 1999, so it was earlier by over a year.
Not as big of a gap as I thought it was going to be when you started that off.
I know. I enjoyed that movie. So we'd like to thank you for joining us. And if you have read any spooky, scary ghost books or have anything you would like to let us know or talk about on a future episode of the podcast, please leave a comment down below. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that ring bell for notifications for all of MC Ellis's video content.
Woo! And Spotify, like our podcast and like the episodes. Listen to us on all the different platforms. Help us out. And hello to my brother who actually listens.
This has been In the Library with
Tara.
And I'm Adrian.